We actually like the new 2027 Kia Telluride. Really, we do. But here's the thing, a lot of people don't. And everything you're about to hear comes straight from owners of the current Telluride, YouTube comments, or the first wave of reactions from people who saw it in person at the LA Auto Show and walked away shaking their heads, saying, yeah, this ain't it. So today we're diving into the most talked about reasons people are already planning to avoid the 2027 Telluride. Let's start with the one that blew up the comment sections immediately, the exterior design. The original Telluride had a great mix of rugged and upscale without trying too hard. The 2027 version? Yeah, people are not loving it. Well, the consensus is that it looks like a Range Rover ordered from Temu, especially from the rear angle. The blocky silhouette, the squared-off tail, and the new lighting signature give it a copycat vibe that feels more imitation than evolution. Even Tom Kearns, Kia's vice president and senior chief designer, said every new design should look a bit uncomfortable the first time you see it. And, well, mission accomplished, because a lot of people are definitely uncomfortable. Just maybe not the vibe you want when someone's about to drop 50 grand. Fans say it's too boxy, too generic, and missing the original's unique personality and presence. And yes, it's bigger, 3 inches longer, sharper edges, more slab-sided. But bigger doesn't always mean better. Some fans say the new look completely lost the original's elegance. That first-gen Telluride had character, a personality. This one feels like it got redesigned by a committee trying to copy half the luxury market at once. And failing. And then, oh boy, then we get to the X Pro trim. Listen, Kia has some great naming conventions, but X Pro? What does that even mean? Reviewers say it sounds less like an off-road package and more like a premium-tier OnlyFans subscription. Subscribe now to Telluride X Pro for exclusive content reveals and maybe a slightly wider and knobby tire. And while we're here, what are those weird black square tabs above the wheel arches? People hate them. They stick out, they look random, and they give the impression someone forgot to remove the shipping protectors. But let's move inside because this is where the new Telluride starts to really lose some fans. Not because it's bad, but because it's confusing. Kia clearly wanted to push upscale. There's more minimalist design, nicer materials, cleaner lines, but the seats? Many commenters said they look like knockoff Range Rover seats, like they came from a discount luxury catalog. The stitching pattern, the bolstering, even the color choices, it's all giving budget British luxury, not original Kia identity. And then we have the steering wheel, or as it's now called, the Squirkle. A square circle steering wheel that looks like it came off a 1993 Ford Taurus or some other random Fox body-era Ford that got left in a design vault for 30 years. People are roasting this wheel like crazy. It's not sporty, it's not elegant, it's not futuristic, it's just weird. A weird shape that feels like Kia wanted to be different, but didn't check to see if different was actually better. But the best part? The start-stop button. Because instead of placing it anywhere remotely convenient, like say the dashboard or next to the screen or literally anywhere a normal human hand naturally goes, Kia hid it behind the steering wheel on a stalk. Yes, the start button is now part of a stalk. Where's that start button? Oh, just reach through or behind the wheel, grab the plastic arm thing and hope it doesn't activate something else. And that stalk is now also your gear selector. Brilliant. Instead of a traditional lever in the center console, which by the way, at least 90% of buyers still prefer, you now get a weird, multifunction wand hiding behind your steering wheel. Some are already complaining about the possibility of bumping the transmission into neutral with their knee by accident. Others say it feels unnatural. And almost everyone is asking the same question: what was wrong with the old shifter? Why are automakers allergic to simple, reliable solutions? Why are we always trying to reinvent the wheel? Okay, moving on. For all the hype about the 2027 redesign being bigger, roomier, and improved, the third row and cargo space still aren't class-leading, not even close. The Telluride is now physically longer, but somehow the actual usability of the rear rows barely improved. The third row is still tight. Adults don't want to sit there. Actually, no, adults won't sit there. The new third row has the same problem the old one did. It's technically a 3-row SUV, but practically a 2-row SUV with a bonus penalty box in the back. You'd have to fold yourself into shapes the human body was not designed for. No dignified adult would ever contort themselves into this area. By the way, that's a real quote from someone online, and honestly, they're not wrong. The cargo space behind the third row hasn't made any shocking improvements either. In fact, it's only 1 cubic foot bigger than the outgoing model. With the Telluride getting bigger, customers expected the interior to follow suit. Instead, it feels like Kia made changes everywhere except the places families were begging for. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: pricing. This is where people are getting heated. The Telluride used to be all about value. It was luxury-level comfort and features for thousands less than competitors. It was the SUV that made people say, "Wait, this costs how much?" Kia built its reputation on over-delivering. But now, the 2027 Telluride is officially crossing into Genesis territory. The base LX model has jumped by $3,000 to the $40,000 mark. The upper trims, like the X Pro and the SX Prestige, are now priced where luxury SUVs start to show up. And customers are not loving it. Many are asking why they should pay luxury money for a Kia badge. Others are saying this is the moment Kia lost its value edge. Too expensive to be a Kia is a very common comment. And we haven't even touched on dealer markups yet. Market adjustment is back, and somehow even worse this time. When the first Telluride came out, dealers were marking them up like crazy, with some people paying 5, 10, even 15 grand over the MSRP just to get one. And guess what? History is repeating itself. It's been reported that some dealers are already talking about hefty market adjustment fees for an allocation on the 2027 model. Then come the mandatory accessory packages that magically appear on even the base trims, inflating the price before you've blinked. And of course, the classic BS upcharges return: ding and dent protection, undercarriage sealant, wheel and tire warranties, and whatever else they can dream up. At this point, it honestly feels like dealers are taking a page straight out of the Porsche dealer rulebook. Mark it up, add fluff, smile confidently, and wait for someone to actually pay it. The big powertrain news? The 2027 Telluride drops the old, reliable 3.8-liter V6 entirely and replaces it with a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making around 274 horsepower. The same engine from the Sorento and the K5 GT. And look, turbos can be great, but that's still down from the V6's 291 horsepower, which has a lot of owners side-eyeing this change. People expected more power, not less. Instead of a smoother, proven engine, you're now getting a smaller, harder-working Turbo 4 that already has some buyers wondering if Kia traded long-term durability for efficiency that isn't even class-leading. And yes, Kia is promising a hybrid version, but early details aren't exactly inspiring confidence. It's shaping up to be a strung-out 4-cylinder turbo paired with electric motors. And the real eyebrow raiser is that the towing capacity actually drops by 500 pounds, bringing the hybrid's max tow rating down to 4,500 pounds. For a family SUV that built its reputation on capability, that's a downgrade a lot of buyers are already questioning. Customers love the Telluride for its comfort and style, but this hybrid setup feels like a compromise, not an upgrade, especially for anyone who tows regularly. Now let's address the one topic that always makes people nervous: reliability. The Telluride has never been a catastrophic SUV. The engines don't explode, the transmissions don't fall out, but the problem is, Kia loaded these things with so much tech over the last few years that some owners have seen a laundry list of smaller issues. Warning lights, electrical gremlins, infotainment bugs, weird noises, dead batteries, HVAC glitches, nothing individually deal-breaking, but enough to make some owners say, please don't add even more tech. But Kia added more tech: screens everywhere, sensors everywhere, stock shifters, hidden start buttons, more electronic systems running more features, all of which owners hope won't glitch out. Past years have shown that the Telluride is good, but not Toyota-level bulletproof, so buyers are understandably cautious. And this brings us to the biggest overall theme: overhype. The Telluride has become one of those SUVs that gets praised so hard, so constantly, that the expectations for every new version become unrealistic. It's the victim of its own success. Kia could release a version that cures disease and makes breakfast, and still, some people would say, meh. The 2027 Telluride isn't bad. Honestly, we think it's really good. But a lot of shoppers expected a revolutionary leap, not a mild refresh wrapped in a controversial design with higher pricing and a downsized powertrain. And that's why this video exists. Early reactions are all over the place. Some say it looks sharp, others call it a downgrade. Some like the cabin, others say it's cheap Range Rover Cosplay. People who love the clean dash still can't get past the steering wheel that looks like a cartoon donut. At the end of the day, the Telluride is still going to sell a lot. It's still comfortable, still well-built, still stylish in its own way. But is it the perfect SUV everyone wanted it to be? No. And for many buyers, these early complaints – design, pricing, markups, practicality, engines, fuel economy, reliability – might be enough to push them towards something else. The 2027 Telluride is good, but it's not the slam dunk Kia hoped for. And depending on what you value, it might be the SUV you should avoid in 2027. If you found this breakdown helpful, or at least entertaining, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out more than you know, and it keeps you in the loop every time we dive into another new release. More honest reviews, more real buyer feedback, and more brutally honest car content coming your way.